What's up guys, Jay Cutton from Fitness Culture. Today we're going to be talking about plyometrics. So in the Fitness Culture app, the Power Program and the Athlete Program, we do a lot of advanced plyometrics, but really you want to start with the basics and start with the plyometric progression before you move on to these advanced things. So today we're going to be going over a progression. We're going to start on the ground, move to depth jumps, and then move into some single leg variations that can get you guys ready to make sure that you're doing plyometrics safe before we get going in the Fitness Culture app. All right guys, I got my buddy Brennan here today to demonstrate all these plyometrics. My standing vert's definitely a lot higher than his, but you can't jump and talk at the same time, so we got to do it this way. Anyway, the first thing today is going to be super basic stuff, right? So the biggest thing we're looking for on all of these drills are landing and jumping mechanics, which are basically going to you're looking for this basically. No valgus knee coming in when you land and jump. So a lot of the times people will land and their knees come in before they settle into a good position, or they'll land correctly, and when they explode, their knees come in. Number one, you're gonna lose a lot of power. Number two, it's just a sign a lot of time of weakness and poor movement, and that's gonna lead to injury down the road. So that's one thing plyometrics are great for too, is to evaluate people's movement, to clean that up so they're safe when they move onto the field. So the first one we got today, super basic drill, starting from the fundamentals. Brandon's gonna start kind of like he's at the top of a vertical jump. He just jumped up, but he's just gonna come up onto his toes and then just drop down into a nice athletic landing position. Notice how his knees are tracking right down his toes. One thing too, you want to land as quietly as possible, absorb the load. Now we're going to move on to the next part of the progression if you're looking at your athletes. So he's just going to do a simple, just standing vertical jump. So we'll start, jump up once, reload, and land in a good position. Good. So if we were evaluating Brennan there, knees look good, nothing's coming in, then we move on to step 3 of our ground progression, which is going to be just rapid fire vertical jump. And so on this one, he's going to do 3 jumps in a row. So he'll start with his arms up, then he's going to drop into 3 jumps, and then he's going to land in an athletic position just to evaluate how it is on that last jump, and then recover. Once your athletes have passed the ground progression, then we're going to move up onto the box and do a depth jump progression. So same thing here, we're just going to be looking for those landing and jumping mechanics on this one and make sure the knees are tracking right down the toes. So the first thing we're going to be doing, Brendan's going to be starting on top of the box. All he's going to be doing is dropping off the box, landing in a good position, trying to keep his knees tracked down his toes, and making sure he's trying to, we call them ninja landings, nice soft landing. The goal is to not hear yourself land if you can. Good. All right, so the next movement on this depth jump progression, Brendan's going to get up here. He's going to stop, land just like we just did, pause for a second, and then jump back up. So really, on this one, we're going to be able to evaluate his landing mechanics, and then when he explodes to jump back up onto the box, we'll be able to see those too. He's going to step off, pause, go. Good. So everything looked good there. The next part of the progression is just going to be your standard depth jump. Now on this one, it's a little bit different, counter to what I've been saying on the ninja landing. On a depth jump, you want to be as aggressive as possible. So his goal here is going to be to land. Right when he lands, he's going to explode back up. His toes are going to hit first. Try to not let his heels come in contact. You want to explode super, super fast. Not a lot of ground contact time, and get up onto that next box. So he'll step off, be loaded when he hits, get up. Good. And then obviously, once we've mastered the depth jump, you can start moving moving the height up on this one, and that's going to make it a lot more challenging. Really, the challenging part is going to be obviously jumping high. It is what it is. You're going to jump up, pull your knees up, but on a depth jump, the higher you're dropping from, you're going to have to overcome that downward force of your body coming into the ground to explode back up. So really, the work here on a depth jump is going to be to see how high you can get and still comfortably land and explode with minimal ground contact time. Now we're going to move into the single leg thing. Single leg progression for plyometrics. So we were just testing these out a little bit. Brendan sucked pretty bad, so I might have to step in for him and show him how it's done. We'll see if he can be a game time player right here. We need a game time player. We'll see if he is a game time player. All right, so we're gonna start this progression the same way we started the last one. We're gonna start on 2 feet. He's gonna put his hands in the air, and then he's just gonna drop onto 1 foot and try to land under control. Good. So even though he was a little wobbly there, that's gonna be normal on one leg. It's not gonna always be perfect. We're just looking to minimize like a huge cave in the knee, right, when they land. You wanna just really make sure they're landing straight, nice and soft, under control, stand back up. All right, once we've got that, we're gonna move into just a single leg hop. So he's gonna stand on 1 leg, jump up, land on 1 leg, and come under control. So he's got really nice control right there. Everything's tracking nicely. The next thing we're gonna do, we'll move into 3 rapid fire jumps on this one. So we'll come to balance on 1 leg, jump 3 times, drive that knee, and then land on that last time in an athletic position and recover. Once you've got that nailed down on both legs, then we can start working on lateral jumps. So the first one we're gonna be doing is just lateral jump and then come to balance, right? So these ones are gonna be super challenging. Coming to balance on a lateral jump's really hard. We're looking for the same stuff here, but it's just gonna be challenging your athlete a little bit more. The easiest way to do it's gonna be start by not exploding too far, right? Start small, come to balance, and then you can start jumping further, come to balance. And then the next thing we're gonna move into would just be a rapid fire lateral jump. So you'll have your athlete start here, and they're just gonna jump back and forth. The biggest thing on the lateral jumps is to make sure that you are absorbing that load. If you're doing a lateral jump where you're really just landing hard every time, you're gonna be all over the place. It's gonna be super hard to come to balance. So you really wanna jump out, absorb the load, then you can come to balance easier before you come back to the other side. Once you got the ground stuff done, finish that lateral stuff, you're feeling good, then we're gonna move on to the box and do some single leg depth jump type stuff. So Brendan's gonna be on the box, same as the double leg stuff. The first thing we're gonna be doing is just dropping off the box, landing on that leg, try to be as quiet as possible, absorb that downward force into the ground and come to balance. Just do a few reps on each side. Brendan's doing a good job, everything's tracking nicely. And the next thing we're gonna do is the same thing we did on 2 legs. This is gonna be definitely a more advanced plyometric here. He'll land, and he's gonna jump and try to land on 1 leg on the other box. Then finally, the last thing, same thing. It's gonna be just your standard jet jump. So this one is definitely one of the hardest single leg variations here. So he's gonna come, drop onto 1 leg, explode off that same leg, and then land on that same leg on the other box. So it's just gonna be really hard to overcome that downward force on 1 leg and get up onto that other box. All right, guys, that wraps it up today for our short plyometric progression. So a lot of these were super basic, but once you master the fundamentals, then especially the single leg stuff, if you can master that, then you're pretty much ready for any advanced plyometrics. And the great thing about plyometrics that I've seen with my clients in the past, especially the younger clients, is the more that they're able to control their body by doing those soft landings and explode fast and land under control, then the more that they're gonna translate to great body control on the field. So I hope you guys like this. If you guys like this content, please leave me a comment below, and please leave me a comment on what you would like us to cover next. Thanks for tuning in.